What's up, guys? This is James with Escaping the Neon. Today I'm going to go into a little bit of how I make cold calls and how I've kind of learned to use this one single phrase that's really helped me and really brought my game up to a whole nother level. I've honed in on this for years, being able to kind of sense some nuances, and I know that this tactic will work for anybody who tries to put it into play. You just have to have enough confidence to do it and start really paying attention to the response to this one single question when you call. This is going to give you so much information and really let you properly direct and lead the call the way that you need to as a salesperson or someone trying to get your product in front of, or someone's product in front of whoever it is that you have on the phone. This is really going to give you that power, really give you the opportunity to get your product out there and really deliver what it is that you're trying to deliver in the way that your prospect wants it to be delivered to them. So I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm going to get right into it. First thing, so a lot of times you're going to call a business, let's just say you sell flour, okay? So you're calling, seeing if XYZ Bakery, wants to buy your flour. So make a cold call. Okay, good morning. This is Sarah with, Happy Times Honey Cake Bakery. Good morning, Sarah. How you doing today? Super important. Super easy, but super important. So first thing, what did you notice there? You repeat their name back to them because that's one of the most important things you can do right there. People love to hear their own name, and it also makes them kind of feel like they're in a conversation with somebody that knows them or a friend. What's better? Oh, good morning. How you doing today? Or, oh, good morning, Sarah. How you doing today? Once they hear their name, oh, this is to me. This person is, talking directly. This is a conversation. And it really changes your prospect's mentality right from the get-go if you're able to use their name. But the other super important phrase in there is how you doing today. There is so much information that you can glean off of how you doing today. It's ridiculous because you're going to get a huge variety of responses. What's a typical go-to? If I say to you and you know me fairly well, hey, how you doing today? What are you going to say to me? Chances are you're probably going to say, I'm good, man. How you doing? Okay, great. But there's so many even nuances in the, I'm good, man. How you doing today? So many different ways to even reply to that. And there's so much information that you can get out of a response like that, that even if they give you the most simple, basic, I'm good, man. How you doing? If you train your mind enough to really realize what they're saying in between the lines, you can get a ton more done. And really you can play to the way that these people want to be sold to, whoever it is that's on the other end of the phone. You can play to the way that they want to be sold to. So let's use this example. You got Sarah at the bakery. You say, good morning, Sarah. How you doing today? I'm good. What can I do for you? So at that point, you get a very quick response like that. They don't reply to you, how are you doing today? That just means I'm good. What's up? What's on your mind? What can I do for you? That person, they want to get off the phone quickly. So you want to do the best that you can possibly do to get what your point across is, or get what the minimum thing that you need out of this phone call, which, probably you should shoot for an email address if the person wants to get off the phone as quick as possible. So, if they don't ask you how you're doing and they answer very quick, super quick pace, you need to match that. You need to make sure that you're parroting everything, mirror everything that they do. So if they're quick pace, hit them right back real quick, real fast pace. Hey, you know what? Thanks, Sarah. I'm not going to take up much of your time here, but I actually sell flour, and I figured you guys might be in the market for a really good flour supplier. We're right down the road, and I'm just wondering if there's somebody that's an email address, and I may be barking up the wrong tree, so I apologize if I am, but just wondering if you can point me in the right direction because I'm selling this flour. It's really good stuff, and I'm just like to send you guys some information and get my product out there. That's a great way. So right there, you've asked for help. So you've really humanized yourself and said, hey, I don't even know if I'm doing this properly. Maybe you can give me the right idea as to whether I'm even barking up the right tree or not. And that's really put them in the situation of, this guy's looking for help. There's something in human nature that people want to help other people. I know, people, that may sound crazy to some people, but it is true. When you ask and you genuinely ask for help, people have a tendency to want to help you. So again, mirror whatever their pace is, whatever kind of reaction they give you, you need to mirror that almost identically right back to them because that's exactly what they want and that's how they want to be sold to. So again, a quick response, I'm good, what's up, what can I do for you? Hit them back real quick. So, I got this and that, and I'm just wondering if there's an email address that I can send some information to because I got a really good product. I really want to get it out there. You got a good chance of them helping you with that because you've matched their pace. You are helping them get off the phone. They want to get off the phone with you. So you're helping them get off the phone. So let's switch it up a little bit. So, good morning, Sarah. How you doing today? Genuine. How you doing today? You want to know. You want the answer to this question, and you want them to give you a genuine response. I'm doing okay. How you doing today? Well, I'm doing good. Well, what's wrong? You don't sound too good. That right there, that builds up a rapport. That humanizes you. That humanizes them. That makes you less of a salesman and more of a casual, like, hey, how you doing? So, they've talked slowly to you. They've responded at a decent pace. So, they may have an extra minute to sit on the phone. Feel free to ask. If they don't sound good, well, you don't sound good. Well, what's going on? They may tell you. It's a slow day here, or, you're calling on a Monday. You don't sound too good. What do you got, a case of the Mondays? I hear you. Sometimes it's hard to start up after a good weekend. That type of stuff. And that allows you to build rapport. That allows you to kind of break down those barriers of like, who is this salesperson calling me and why are they calling? And then, of course, you got the people who they're in a great mood. Or, they're happy to be where they are and they answer the phone. Hey, good morning, Sarah. How you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing today? Oh, I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking. So you can kind of gauge at that point, okay, this person is in a pretty good mood. They're not in a huge rush to get off the phone. They're obviously curious as to why I called. So this kind of lets you dictate the pace of, when you decide to lead into what your product is, what it is that you're trying to sell, or what it is that you're trying to get them to be involved with, or even what it is that you're asking. But again, it's just super slight nuances in the response to how you doing today that will make or break your entire sales operation, right? And if you learn to pay attention to these super small nuances, and then you learn to mirror exactly what it is that they're feeding to you, if you learn to adjust your, on the fly, you need to adjust the call to the pace and the style that they like to communicate, you're going to have way more success than if you just do a boilerplate, here's my script, here's what I'm doing each and every call, and here's how I'm going to talk to people using my personality, the way that I do business. Not everybody wants to do business the way that you want to do business, and if you're trying to sell to somebody else, you really need to do business the way that they want to do it. Whether that's, at a quick pace, boom, 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 let's get this over with. If you want to send information, fine. Get off the phone, I got other things to do. Or, somebody who may have a little bit of time and may be willing and open to hear about your product. At that point, talk to them. But you need to be able to gauge where your prospect is when you call. And if you don't use this opening line of how are you doing today, you're missing out on this huge amount of information that can completely change the nature of the call. And I know it's a little nerve-wracking because when you first start the call, you feel rushed. You can feel that they don't want to be on the phone. They don't know who you are. They get a lot of sales calls all the time, or a lot of cold calls. Whether it's a sales call or not, they get a lot of calls as a business. Every business does. So you always feel that pressure when they first answer the phone. And so a lot of people forego this how you doing today just so they can get immediately into their pitch. I know it's kind of hard and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but you need to make sure that this is part of your opening as how you doing today, because there's so much information. And I promise you, if you spend a little bit of time and you start opening every single call like this, you're going to be able to get so much information, and it's just going to completely change the way that cold calling goes for you. If you're able to then take the information that you get off of it, and you're going to get the teeniest little response. It's going to be, if you don't know what you're paying attention for, then it's going to be like a useless part of the conversation, and it's just going to be like wasted dead air, and it's just, casual conversation of like, I'm doing good, how you doing today? If you know what you're paying attention to, though, if you know what to look for, then that's when this information becomes extremely valuable, and it will be the most important part of the conversation that you have. So just keep that in mind. And when you do go into calls like this, you want to set yourself 3 goals. So obviously, best case scenario, you're going to make a sale right there on the phone, and that's somebody that has plenty of time, and your product doesn't take a whole lot of thinking. It's not a super high-end, high-ticket item that's going to take multiple decision makers. The next best thing would be to set up a virtual or in-person meeting. So, of course, you can go pitch your product then in person. And then if you get somebody that, like, hey, they just want to get off the phone, that's fine. At that point, you're just looking for an email address. Hey, I won't take much of your time. I sell a really high quality flour, and I'm reaching out to bakeries that are in the Maryland area, whatever area you're in, whatever area they're in, it doesn't really matter. Just say, hey, I got a really good product, and I'm reaching out to bakeries that are in X area, or I'm reaching out to whoever who are in X area. So make it seem like you actually did some searching. You're not just going off a list of a trillion other companies and just they happen to be on it. No, you're reaching out to companies within the Dallas area, and you just want to send a little information about your product because it's the best. You got a much better chance of getting an email address than you do if they say, I'm good, what can I do for you? And then you go into a long sales pitch, because you should already know that they don't want to be on the phone. So you want to do the best you can, again, to mirror what it is that they're looking for. If you can't mirror it, then you're never, well, maybe not never, but very, very low chance that you're ever going to make any type of sale or build any type of rapport with people. And again, with a lot of sales and a lot of these, even mid-range items, you're not going to make a sale right off the bat. You have to build this rapport, and the best way to build that rapport is the genuine question of how are you doing today, because that opens you up to a lot of things. So just take that technique, use it to your advantage, and constantly keep it in mind that you need to mold your call, and let it be dictated by the response of how they're doing today, because they're going to tell you so much with their inflection in the voice, the pace of their response, and their actual response itself. So learn to pay attention to these things, and watch your confidence in calls go way up, and also watch your success with these calls go way up. And then of course it's just a snowball effect. As you have more confidence and you have more success on these calls, it shows up in the way you speak, in the way you talk, and people are going to recognize it, whether it's subconsciously or not, and you're going to start doing better with sales. So keep this stuff in mind, and start using it and watch the response that you get. Anyway, I hope this was beneficial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. This is James. Thank you so much.